in whenever we want. What have I wrote on my notes? Explanation of podcast. Um, yeah. Okay. We're basically doing this podcast just because there hasn't been fights in a while. We've always sort of had this idea of doing a podcast. Um, so I just thought, why not now? Since there's a lot to talk about, considering everything that's going on, and the fact that we've just got a mega card for the first time in 2 months, which is nuts. So yeah, I guess we're doing a podcast for that sole reason alone.
Of course, it's one of them as well where if you want to try something new now, you might as well try it now.
Yeah, a lot of people have been telling me to do that, like giving me advice. I've been telling other people to do that as well. Really, that you might as well make the most of your time while you're isolating at home. Yeah.
Pick up on old stuff maybe you haven't done in a while. Or, I don't know.
Yeah,
Anything just to get you back into the rhythm of stuff. Keep your mind going.
yeah. Well, the thing is, like, people work, right? So you have less time throughout the week to do things. So therefore, it would make more sense. I mean, every day at the minute, if you do nothing at your weekends, every day's a weekend for you at the minute. So you might as well use that time to try and do something productive. Um, yeah. Uh, UFC 249. Holy shit. It's gonna be a great card. It is this Saturday. I think the prelims start 11 p.m. English time, GMT.
That's not bad. That's not
No,
too bad.
no, that's not bad. That's kind of like the average for.
That's basically you'll be able to quickly just get everything what you need to do through the day out the way.
Yeah,
Then just get into it.
yeah.
It's gonna be a crazy card. It's gonna be a crazy card.
Oh, for sure. I mean, my sleep's just deteriorating in a minute because I always try and do a thing before a pay per view where I'll just intentionally sort of mess up my sleep pattern. So I'll be able to sleep, like, my body will be used to sleeping later and later and later until, the day before the fight, I might sleep at like 5 a.m. just so I make sure I can stay awake. Because if I fall asleep during this pay per view, I'm going to be pissed, man. Seriously, like.
Saying that, my sleep at the moment is just so random. It's like I can
Yeah.
stay awake until whenever, to be honest.
That's true, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, like, I've been sleeping ranging between, like, 1 and 5, to be honest, whenever.
Yeah,
So.
same like unless like maybe I'll be playing something or watching something. There's
Yeah.
no reason for me to be really up, to be honest.
Yeah.
Whenever I can, it's more of the when your body wants to go to sleep finally.
Yeah, I know. It's like a you eventually just sort of pass out. Like, yeah. Um, I suppose we should probably talk about the fights.
Yeah.
We okay. All right. The first fight on the card, I've sort of I'm not gonna pretend like I'm a genius. I don't know everything about MMA and I don't know every fighter on the roster. So, I mean, I've done my, yeah, like I've done my research and sort of made my predictions based off that. So I'll sort of run you through the notes that I've made at the same time, so we're on the same sort of wavelength here.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, the first fight's Smiling Sam Alvey, who's I've seen him fight a fair few times. He's one of them guys that is always on one of these fights. I think he fights quite a lot. Versus Ryan Spann, who is on a decent streak. So Ryan Spann is 17-5. He's won his last 7 fights. 3 of them were in the UFC, and one of them was on the Contender Series. And I mean, it's gonna sound black and white after I say this, but Sam Alvey's lost his last 3 fights, and one of them was actually to Antonio Rogerio Nogueira, who Ryan Spann beat, his opponent beat. And obviously MMA math is bullshit, right? You shouldn't rely on MMA math to decide who you think's gonna win a fight.
can't.
But I mean, that does tell me, you know, 3 fight losing streak, 7 fight winning streak. I mean,
It's like, it's such a hard one because people, I don't know, it feels like they get maybe disappointed and
yeah,
it's a bit like Cerrone. Cerrone will go on like a losing streak and pull it back all of a sudden
yeah.
against someone quite big. So it'll be interesting. But as you're saying it, I got a feeling it's gonna be another loss.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I quite like Sam Alvey. Like he's kind of like one of them feel good sort of everyone likes him guys. But in the same respect, like I wouldn't be surprised if he got cut if he loses his next fight because 4 fight losing streak, like you'd have to be
You don't really hear about that.
no
'Cause
like
even after two,
yeah, a lot of people get cut. Yeah, even after 2.
you should be ready.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, I'd be surprised if they gave him a fifth chance after losing. That wouldn't make any sense to me. And
Like,
plus,
if you're a big name, unless you're a big name, like
yeah,
someone who can lose a few fights in a row,
yeah,
then he's alright. You'll be alright. But if you're
yeah,
not
exactly, yeah.
nothing like him, then your chances are so limited. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, take BJ Penn for example. What is he on now? Like an 8 fight losing streak. And I know he's
Eight
only
fight
just been
losing
cut.
streak. Yeah.
Like they weren't gonna cut him either before that thing that he did in Hawaii around that bar. Like before that, they were gonna give him another fight.
And the nine, he's probably ninth loss then. Him getting knocked out.
Exactly, yeah.
Straight to head.
Shit, dude, we would have seen like a 10 fight losing streak in the UFC. That would have been insane, man.
I know.
Oh my god. Um, yeah, I mean, on top of that, Ryan Spann has I mean, I don't know if Sam Alvey's one of them guys who struggles against people with bigger reaches, but Ryan Spann does have a 3 inch reach advantage too. So, I mean, pile on the misery really for Sam Alvey. He won't be smiling after that fight, will he? Anyway, next fight on the card, we've got. I really like this guy. I don't know if you've seen him fight before. We got Bryce Mitchell, who came off the Ultimate Fighter. Thug Nasty is his nickname,
Okay.
and he's fighting Charles Rosa, who has sort of been up and down. But Bryce Mitchell is 12-0. He's won his last 3 fights, and he fought in the Ultimate Fighter. I can't remember who he got knocked out by, but his professional record is still 12-0. He got submission of the year last year for the fucking twister that he did on Matt Sales in December.
He was like on the twister, yeah.
Yeah. He was the guy who did the twister.
Oh.
His like grappling skills are really good. I like him.
So we're guaranteed if this goes to the floor, magic's gonna happen.
I think so. I mean, I'm not really too sure on how good Charles Rosa's ground game is, if I'm completely honest. But I mean, he looked inconsistent by his fight record. He's fought once in the last 3 years.
Really.
Yeah, I think he beat Kyle Bochniak a while ago, and he lost a split decision to Yair Rodriguez a while ago as well. Which, like,
So how recent was his fight though? How recent is it?
the one to Yair I think was like 5 years ago, and I think his last fight. I can't remember when his last fight was, but I know that he's fought once in the last 3 years. So either way, that's not really that.
Not even a consistent fighter.
Yeah, I think Bryce Mitchell will probably win that fight. I think he'll probably win it by submission. It seems unlikely to me that Charles Rosa, considering how much he's fought and what his record was before, would be the guy to take down, Bryce Mitchell, this prospect. Just it kind of seems like one of them fights that the UFC wants. They clearly want Bryce Mitchell to win that fight. So
Like giving him like kind of easier fights where
yeah,
they know you're gonna win.
yeah. Like, what division is that? Bryce Mitchell. What does he fight? I think he fights at featherweight.
Featherweight, and that's a packed weight division.
Exactly. Like they could have gave him
Packed division.
like they could have gave him someone around sort of 15th. Like I don't even know. Like even someone like oh man, anyone really that's sort of like around that rank sort of area. But they gave him instead. So
To
they
be honest, but if BJ Penn was still fine, they would have given you BJ.
yeah, he's one of them guys that BJ Penn would have fought. Yeah, for sure. He's sort of at that level now.
He
Uh,
is.
yeah. Next on the card, this fight is gonna be fucking good, man. This is like a underdog contender for fight of the night. I think it's Vicente Luque versus Nico Price too.
Okay. Oh, two. So who won the first one?
Uh, so the first fight was a while ago. I think it was something like 5 years ago, 4 years ago now. But Vicente Luque won it with a dash choke in the first fight. Yeah, so basically, Nico Price has been so. I mean, I don't know about you, but every time I've seen Dana White's post or like the UFC's post, because I'm following Nico Price as well, all I see is his comments on all of their posts like, "Oh, give me a fight, give me a fight, give me a fight. I want to fight." Like, he's finally got it, I guess. So he's fighting Vicente Luque. Vicente Luque was when we got together and watched. I think it was the Diaz card, and Luque lost to Wonderboy by decision.
Okay.
Yeah. Before that, though, prior to that, he has a record of 10-2 in the UFC. So I mean, he's clearly done alright for himself. He's
It's not bad.
yeah, and the only two people he's lost to is Wonderboy and Leon Edwards. So everyone else he's beat. So he could be around that contender spot
Listen,
potentially.
that's top level, especially Wonder Boy.
Yeah. Yeah. And Leon Edwards, of course, was about to fight Tyron Woodley. If he won that fight, he would have got a title shot. So I mean, both of them are really good elite fighters. Yeah, Nico Price is to be honest, he's a beast from what I've seen from him. Like he's got real knockout power, and he's one of them guys that just brawls. Like I bet he's got loads of fight of the nights on his UFC record. Yeah, he's just beat James Vick. I don't know if you remember, but he knocked out James Vick with an up kick. Like he was on the floor and he up kicked and knocked out James Vick, that tall,
Yes,
lanky.
yes, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember.
But yeah, judging by his record, he's a bit like Mike Perry. Like everyone knows that he's got like real talent and power, but if you look at his record, he loses as many fights as he wins, even though he's still a prospect. He's one of them
Yeah,
guys. Yeah. Um, I think Vincente Luque will probably knock him out. Um, Judging by his record, he's got a lot of knockouts. And Nico Price, if he's one of them guys that's up and down, I think he'd struggle against Vincente Luque, especially because he's just fought Wonderboy to a decision as well.
yeah. But that's the thing. When it comes to like, especially
Yeah,
Wonder Boy's always bring you to the decision very easily. He's just that
yeah,
type of
yeah,
fighter. So for him to actually still go through all the rounds
yeah,
with Wonder Boy, that's very impressive. That is very impressive.
yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the fight. To be honest, I think someone's gonna get knocked out. It's one of them fights that I just can't see it going decision. Um, yeah, that's like an early contender for fight of the night. To be honest. Next on the card we have you. I think you like Uriah Hall, don't you?
Yeah, Uriah Hall's interesting.
Yeah.
He's very interesting. Like he was someone who we were supposed to be looking forward to.
Yeah.
Like
He was supposed to be like the next big thing.
he was how can I say? He's a middleweight, so he was supposed to be like the next style wise, really flashy. So the next Anderson Silva, to be honest, really
Yeah.
flashy. Just there to put on a show, but it just hasn't gone his way.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
His big fights, he just can't do big fights.
yeah, you might be right. I think all his hype at first, like his first big bit of hype since the Ultimate Fighter knockout was
It was that
his
spinning heel kick. That's what it
yeah,
was.
yeah, that was the first, and then the second, like his first big win was against Gegard Mousasi when he knocked him out with that knee, and everyone was like, "Oh shit, like this guy's for real." And then obviously he lost to Gegard Mousasi, and then he lost a couple more fights. Then he won a few fights, but then he lost. I mean, he got everyone does, but he got killed by Paulo Costa.
Yeah. Listen, Paulo Costa's a different animal.
Yeah, like that was to be expected.
So Uriah Hall, he has won his last 2 fights.
Yeah, yeah, he's. I think he beat Bevan Lewis and
He beat
Carlos.
Antonio Carlos.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah, by it was a split decision, wasn't it? So
This is the thing. His losses when it comes to big fights, it's just Costa
yeah,
destroyed. You've got Derek Bronson. Even Derek Bronson, come on now.
yeah, 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 yeah. Like, I mean, he's fighting Jacare, which we haven't mentioned, and Jacare is he's a fucking beast.
Animal.
Yeah, I mean,
I can see Jacare either knocking him out or submitting him.
I can as well. To be honest, in my notes I put sub or KO as well. That's exactly my thoughts. But I think like
See it really bad.
Jacare is
It's gonna
what.
be,
Yeah, go on, man. Yeah, you know, I mean,
it's gonna be a bad knockout.
Jacare is one of them guys that will just punish you. Like he's just got raw power. He does all the techniques. Like he won't fuck about with these like flashy techniques or something like that. And that's not always a bad thing because Uriah Hall could catch him for sure. But I feel like everywhere the fight goes, like I don't know, it just feels like Souza's just got a slight advantage everywhere it goes. To be honest.
So it seems what I'm looking at between Souza and Hall.
Yeah,
Souza, yeah, he's 5 years old, like he's 40.
yeah,
Uriah Hall's 35.
yeah,
And it's the reach. Uriah Hall's got a bit of a reach, but when you got a grappler like Souza,
yeah.
it's like I think it's more worse if you've got a longer reach because you know he's just gonna come for you.
Yeah, so that's basically what that fight is, isn't it? It's striking versus grappling. So
Yeah.
you're basically getting a leech. Well, I would say Uriah Hall has got elite striking. I'd say that he doesn't use it to the best way sometimes, but he does have elite striking versus Jacare, who's obviously got elite grappling.
Basically, power versus speed. That's what we're looking for.
Kind of, yeah,
Power v speed.
yeah.
Always love to see it.
Next fight on the card we have Carla Esparza versus Michelle Waterson, which is I don't know, man. I feel like I should I feel like I'm guilty to not liking these sort of seventh-ish ranked female fighters, like and for not liking them as such because I feel like the UFC doesn't really promote them that well. I feel like the talent, the divisions seem shallow and they seem weak, but they shouldn't because these fighters they're good fighters. Like Michelle Watson is a good fighter. Um,
Yeah,
she's obviously just lost to Joanna. Um, but
that is like I feel, especially when you come up against a big fight, like especially Warner out of all people,
yeah,
it's not so bad into losing to someone like that. To be honest.
yeah, definitely. I mean, before that, she beat Karolina Kowalkiewicz, Felice Herrig, and Courtney Casey, who are all sort of names that people know.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. I don't really know why. You know when you just don't really like a fighter? Like you can't tell why, but you just for some reason just don't like a fighter. Um, like I get that with Carla Esparza. I don't know why, but every time I watch a fight, it just seems like one of them boring fights. Like just them fights that they're not like boring because there's loads of grappling or whatever like these sort of fake mixed martial arts fans
There's just
complain
not a lot of
about.
action in the
No,
fights. Is that what you're trying to say?
exactly. They
There's
just
not
they
a lot of action coming out.
exactly. It's just feint, throw, feint. It's just the
So a
same
bit like
shit.
the classic Derek Lewis versus
Francis
Ngannou.
Ngannou, yeah, shit, just like that, yeah. Um, yeah,
You want there to be fireworks, but you just can't see any fireworks happening.
yeah. I mean, Michelle Watson's ranked 8 and Conor Esparza's ranked 7. I suppose whoever wins could be a fight away from the title. Um, maybe. Maybe 2 fights, but I think Michelle Watson will probably get one of her sort of trademark decisions, to be honest. She'll probably just grind it out. I wouldn't be surprised. Um, yeah, it's just one of them fights, isn't it? But
What can you do?
yeah. Next fight on the card, Alexio Linik versus Fabricio Verdum. This is a really good
I'm a big
fight.
fan for this one.
Yeah, I really am. I really am, man. This is like one of the best grappling matchups of all time.
But this is the thing. I can't see grappling happening in this one. I don't know why.
Yeah,
When two grapplers come against each other, they just don't want to grapple.
you've got a point, and I think
I
if
think
that,
they get too nervous. It's just nerves. Because they
yeah,
know how good the other one is. They're like, oh, do I really want to go in?
yeah, that you could have a point. If that does happen, I could see Fabricio Verdum getting a knockout. To be honest, I think his striking is much better. Um,
I think he is, but how do you pronounce his name? Alexei.
yeah, Alexio Linik. Yeah,
Yeah, he has got power. We can't think. And the thing with Verdun, he's just coming back as well. We have to take into consideration after that the drug thing as well.
yeah, definitely. I mean, like it wasn't really that obvious because he kind of got. Well, I was at the fight in London when he fought Alexander Volkov, and like he got he pretty much was in control in the first 3 rounds. I think it was 3 rounds. I think he got knocked out in the fourth, and then he just basically got killed because he was so tired in the fourth round. But you would have thought like if he was doping, he wouldn't have gassed out. So, I mean, it didn't really help him. But yeah, that was a really weird one because I think I remembered seeing something like Dana White said he would never fight in the UFC again or something. Well, he bullshits anyway, man. This fucking pay per view. I know.
This is 101 thing.
Seriously, this pay per view might not even be happening on Saturday, man. Like for all we know, this
You
prick.
know what? I do think it's gonna happen. I've got a very got strong feeling it's gonna
I
happen.
think it will now. I think they've advertised it. I mean, they released Countdown yesterday. So it feels like everything's in place now. Like I don't see.
I watched Countdown. Very interesting.
Yeah, I watched Countdown. Yeah, yeah, it was pretty good. I think they did well. With what they were given. I mean, I don't see how they could have got a lot of footage or words from fighters considering.
Of course, but it's there. It'll be an interesting one.
Yeah,
We'll have to just see, to be honest. The next fight, so Donald Cerrone versus Anthony Pettis 2.
yeah.
It shouldn't be in the prelims. It should be in the main card.
No, I definitely agree with you, but I think the UFC is sort of shifting their logic now to like making the best fight on the prelims a sort of higher placement on the card
So
almost.
by putting like big names in like Cerrone, Fadum,
Yeah, like they
Souza,
yeah, I think they're sort of hoping now because like obviously people who just have ESPN in America, which is where most people watch the UFC,
yeah,
they're gonna watch these fights, and if they watch Donald Cerrone versus Anthony Pettis and they like what they see on free TV and they see the pay per view, they're gonna buy the pay per view or they're at least gonna buy something that they can watch it on.
So how do you see this fight happening?
Um, To be honest with you, yeah, I completely forgot about something. When I was talking to you for like the weeks up until this fight, yeah, I was confident in saying Anthony Pettis is going to get a KO and TKO. And to be honest with you, yeah, I'll get to it, but I still think that. But I just completely forgot that Anthony Pettis lost to
What's his last fight?
yeah, to Carlos Diego Ferreira.
Yeah, I know. He got taken down and he got finished.
Yeah, no, I completely
And
forgot
that's a
about that.
fight he should have won.
Yeah, definitely. I would have expected him to, because I was watching some classic UFC cards the other day, and I was watching for the first time when he won the title, against Benson Henderson, and I was thinking like he's a fucking beast, man. Like this guy is a beast. Seriously.
He comes in and out. He'll have like his fight against Wonderboy, amazing fight.
Yeah,
But then it'll come to Nate, he'll lose against Nate.
yeah.
And then he has, I think it was an amazing fight after that. He fought Ferguson or something. What was that before?
Um, I think that was before the Nate fight.
Either way, he has amazing fights, but he just fights where he should win.
Yeah,
His last one, he doesn't win, and it's frustrating because
yeah,
he's an amazing fighter.
yeah, definitely. I completely agree. I mean,
At the same time, we have got to think of Cerrone. Cerrone at the moment is I don't know what to say.
yeah, I mean The thing is, all I keep hearing about on MMA journalists at the minute is what he said in the interview when he said that Cowboy wasn't at the
Didn't want to
fight.
be there.
Yeah, he didn't want to be
I
there.
don't think
Like,
that would make a difference though.
and well,
I don't think.
I mean, yeah, I think it definitely makes a difference in terms of the fact that sometimes you just have off days. But the thing that I find alarming is the fact that every time he fights a big name, he always has an off day. Like every time. Yeah, just engage. Like everyone that he can't make friends. Even Anthony Pettis, the first fight, he loses big fights. He lost when he fought for the WEC belt. He lost when he fought for the UFC belt. Yeah, like he just loses big fights, and that's just one of the sort of, you know, this is one of the assurances you get in fighting now. This is one of the things that people know.
If Cowboy was there against McGregor,
Yeah,
the way how McGregor come out at first as well, very
yeah,
unexpectedly. That's why I don't think it would have mattered because he come at such a quick pace, unexpected. It was there in his
yeah,
face, and he reacted straight away.
yeah, definitely. But you'd like to think that after a long training camp, he'd be ready for anything.
That's the thing. Like you're saying, it is big fighters. Ferguson he done alright with.
Yeah.
Ferguson he done alright with.
Yeah, definitely. He shouldn't have blown his fucking nose. Yeah.
When it comes to Gaethje and McGregor, nah, he messed up because both of them was in the first round in a few seconds as well.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I could still see Anthony Pettis winning this fight, to be honest. I mean, I know he's coming off losses. I mean, I heard even a soundbite of one of them MMA journalists the other day saying that Cowboy was thinking about retiring after the next 2 years. So it's like, well,
What has he got there to be there for now? He's a legend in the sport. He's an icon.
yeah. If he keeps fighting, he's gonna get good fights. Like I think he's gonna get treated nicely now, and he'll take fights that he could win or he could lose, but I think he'll lose against people like Pettis, and then it'll start getting worse and worse and worse. But then eventually he'll retire. But I don't think he'll be one of them guys that stays around to become, like BJ Penn or whatever.
BJ Penn, exactly like that.
Yeah, I think he'll probably have a few more. I think he'll probably have 3 or 4 more fights over the next couple of years and then retire. And to be honest, that sounds fair enough. I mean, Cowboy Cerrone, despite the fact that he's never really won the big fights, has been like one of the UFC's greatest fighters of all time. Yeah, so fair play. But yeah,
The next fight.
yeah, the main card, Greg Hardy. Yeah, that I think we did. Yeah, you're.
Castro. Okay, so I watched Castro, his last fight.
Yeah, so did I.
He Taffa. And Justin Taffa. And
Yeah.
was actually looked very solid in quite a few of his fights. But the way how, how do you pronounce his name again?
You.
Castro.
Oh yeah,
How he
Jorgen de.
knocked out,
Yeah.
how he knocked him out was disgusting.
Yeah.
Crazy power. And he's 6-0.
Yeah, definitely. I think we might have watched that fight together because I remember that fight as well. And like, I mean, Greg Hardy's a fucking idiot at the end of the day. Like, despite the controversy, yeah, he's a fucking idiot. Like, he's got a no contest and a DQ on his record. So I mean, like, what the hell? I mean, I know he lost to Volkov. There's
That's
no,
shame,
yeah,
really.
there's not really any shame to that. He was nowhere near ready for the fight. He had balls to take it.
Exactly.
Um,
5-2 fighter. It's very interesting. 5-2.
yeah, I mean, I could actually see Jorgen De Castro knocking Greg Hardy out. I think that this is a
Oh,
fight that,
100%.
I mean, obviously the UFC matchmakers know better than me, but this is a big test for Hardy. Like, if they gave him this fight thinking that he would win, they're wrong because De Castro will knock him out. Like, De Castro definitely can knock him out. So, there's,
He's got very devastating power, and I think that's just pure play.
yeah, 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 yeah. So,
It's the fact that he uses his power when he's back up against the cage,
yeah,
so he can fight going back and he can fight going forward,
yeah, yeah,
and that's someone like Jordan. Did I say Jordan? No, Greg Hardy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just don't think he's gonna be able to like figure him out. To be honest.
Yeah, I completely agree. To be honest, I could see that. That's to be fair though. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's the fact that I don't usually run through the card as thoroughly as I am now, but every one of these fights so far feels like they've got a real good background behind them. I feel like we've got a whole card full of amazing fights so far. You know what I
Of
mean?
course, yeah.
That's insane. Like even the guys down the bottom, yeah. I mean, obviously I'd heard of them and I've watched their fights and I've seen who they've beat. People like Bryce Mitchell, for example. But when you truly consider it's, there's people that are like 7 fight win streaks versus fucking 5 fight win streaks and things like that. We're getting some really really good fights on this card. This is insane. Yeah.
They've had to pull a card out like this. They've had to.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think like people are so deprived of MMA action now. They thought, fuck it, we'll treat them like we'll give them something decent. Um,
Christmas. This is like a Christmas comes early. 100%.
Seriously, mate, I know this. I mean, my birthday is 2 days before like the card. Fuck my birth. I don't care about my birthday, man. I don't want to get older anyway. I want to watch some fights. Like,
Nah, listen, 19 is not that bad, you know. You'll be with me and all that stuff.
yeah, I mean, it's getting to that point now though where it's like you want to hit 18, but after that you're like, okay, slow down now. Like, please, no, no, no more.
Come into the real world and that.
Pretty much, yeah. I'd rather just like stay and like cuddle up on my bed and watch fucking Fight Pass or something like.
Or
But
start watching. You always start watching SpongeBob or something like that.
dude, I actually watched SpongeBob last night. I shit you not. I
I
actually
should
watched
get
SpongeBob.
watching it, but I was like, I can't. People can't walk past like 3 o'clock in the morning here. He lives on a planet under the sea and that.
Oh man, find a way. I mean, like babysit for like one of your younger relatives or something, and just put it on for them. I mean, like at all costs, mate.
Well,
SpongeBob's worth it.
if you didn't know, we are in that pandemic, so I can't be doing that.
Yeah, I'm not advocating. I'm not advocating fucking dropping social distancing. Oh no. Anyway, next fight on the card, we have Jeremy Stevens taking on Calvin Kattar, which is a really interesting fight.
How is he still in the UFC?
Jeremy Stevens. I mean, to be honest with you, yeah,
How
I
is
was
he
talking about
still
it
in the
earlier with
UFC?
Carla Esparza, and I sort of do know why, yeah, but I won't roast him, yeah. But I fucking hate Jeremy Stevens, man. I don't like Jeremy
Hey,
Stevens. I mean, like I looked it up. Calvin Kattar, first of all, Calvin Kattar is 20 and
hey,
4,
listen, man.
and he's coming off a
Not a bad record at all.
no, no, no,
Not a bad
definitely.
record.
I mean, he's coming off a decision loss to Zabit, but to be honest with
But
you, it was five
I watched that fight. That
rounds.
was quite a good fight as well.
Yeah, 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 exactly. It was
It was a very good
five.
fight.
He took. Oh, it might have been 3 rounds actually. I think it just got boosted up to the main event. But either way, he took Zabit
It was
to a
3 rounds. It was
decision.
3 round fight.
Yeah, but he took him to a decision. Like, who takes
It was
Zabit to
only
a
in the
decision?
third. It was in the third. It was the third round that he started to come out of his shell.
Yeah,
Yeah, you put another 2 on. He probably could have beat Zabit, to be honest.
yeah, I think
Because
so
look
as
like
well.
he's got one of these cardio.
Yeah.
Because like Ferguson, his cardio starts picking up.
Well, on the other side,
Zabit, that's probably the first time I've seen Zabit look tired.
yeah, no, 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 that is true as well, for sure. I remember that fight clearly. Now you said that as well. On the other side, you could argue Jeremy Stevens also took Zabit to a decision, but on the other side, you could argue that he has the worst record in UFC history because he's shit. And
16.
yeah,
Wow.
well, the thing is, he's got a UFC record of 15 wins, 16 losses, and one no contest. So, I mean, there you go. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he got cut with a loss, or at least this like two more and he's out, because like he's
Yeah,
had so many chances.
so he's lost that Aldo, that devastating liver punch
Yeah, he
that he
lost
fought him with.
Zabit.
Then he lost to Sabi by
Yeah.
decision. Then you had the Rodriguez, yeah, Rodriguez, but
Oh
terrible
yeah.
contest because the eye poke.
Yeah, and then Rodriguez just beat him like he was going to in the first place anyway.
Of course, it's just mad. It's just mad.
Yeah, I mean, I can
He
see.
seemed, he kind of seems like kind of like the lesser version of maybe Cerrone, as in when it comes to big fights, it looks like on this, you just can't win them at all.
Yeah, you might have a point to be honest. Like literally at all. Um, yeah, to be honest, I could see Calvin Cater getting a decision here. I've seen him fight a few times, and he looks good. He's one of them sort of prospects, it's sort of similar to a guy like Gregor Gillespie. Like he's every time I watch him fight, he just looks solid and like a prospect. So I think he'll probably get a big win here over Jeremy Stevens and sort of propel himself up into the
I
rankings.
just don't rate it. I just don't rate Stevens. I really don't. I don't see what people see in him.
Well, he has got good knockout power and he's had some good knockouts, but I just think he's not someone like him himself is not someone that I want to root for. He just seems like a prick. Like to be honest, yeah,
He's one of those. Is like I said, like I just told you, he's fought big names, and all the big names he's faced, he's lost.
yeah,
Pettis, he lost to Cerrone, he lost to
yeah,
Rodriguez, Zabit, he lost. I just don't think he can. He's just one of those people who's going to talk a lot, but I can't do a lot.
yeah. I agree, mate. Next fight on the card, we have
You
Francis
have
Ngannou. I know, a fucking monster fight. Jesus Christ, man, this fight is gonna be
will it
insane.
be a monster fight?
Yeah, exactly. Like
Will it be?
the first thing that springs to mind, right, that brings me right back down to earth and kills my high here of seeing the fucking monster fight is remembering the Derek Lewis fight versus Francis Ngannou. I mean, I don't know if Francis Ngannou is going to be in a better mood this time, but I mean, this fight needs to be what we thought Francis Ngannou versus Derek Lewis was going to be like. That's the only way you'll make up for that.
It was just a very weak fight. It was a very, very weak fight.
Yeah,
But at the same time, see this. So at the moment, we've got obviously Ngannou. He's 14-3, and his last three fights he's won by TKO or KO.
yeah, especially the guys that he's beat: Curtis Blades, Cain Velasquez, and Junior Dos Santos. Those are like three very, very good guys.
And not to take it away, not to take it away at
Yeah.
all. The only thing I'm skeptical, he's faced two like Junior Santos and Velasquez who were quite old fighters.
Yeah, but I think Junior Dos Santos is still around there. He's still beating guys as well. Like when he's fighting
But
him,
then
yeah,
we're looking from across the ring. We're looking at this new 10-0 guy knocking out. Is it who's he? He's knocking out. I'm just saying.
well he knocked out over him. He's the one who gave over him that lip.
Over him,
So
Avlovsky.
yeah. I mean, I know he got one win in Rising before this as well, but he's had 4 wins in the UFC. Um, I think this could go either way, to be honest. Like, I really don't know how good Rosenstruik is because he hasn't fought some. I mean, he fought Alistair Overeem, but he was down 5 rounds in that fight until the last second when he knocked him out.
That's the scary thing, though.
Yeah,
The scary thing. It's a bit like Ngannou's like.
yeah.
Or a bit like, let's say Deontay Wilder.
Yeah,
He keep losing rounds, but all of a sudden he just switches it, and that power comes into place, and bang.
I think so as well. But I think that I think Ngannou, if the fight turns into a point fight and someone doesn't win the fight, then I think Ngannou will win the fight because he's definitely a better point fighter. Like,
Or his background in boxing as well, so yeah.
yeah, I think even Ngannou, like, he seems like he's one of them guys that's gonna eventually turn out into like an all-round complete fighter, like someone like like a Stipe Miocic really. Like he's been training at the UFC Performance Institute, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's been working on his wrestling. He could even be taking him down this fight. I wouldn't be surprised, to be
That's
honest.
the thing, he's got this crazy strength
Yeah,
to do it.
yeah, definitely.
He's not like he's just someone who's tall and hands a good punch bag. He's got crazy strength.
Yeah,
So if he wants to take you down, he's gonna take you down, and there's nothing you can do about it.
yeah. I mean, if I had to make a decision, I think I'd go Ngannou knockout, just because I think that one of them probably will get knocked out, and I think it's more likely to be Jairzinho Rozenstruik rather than Ngannou.
It's either gonna go Ngannou knockout. It's just gonna go to foreign fight, point fight, and it's gonna go to Ngannou straight.
Pretty much, I think so. Yeah.
Alright, here we go to the big boy two.
Yeah, man, the fucking
Henry Cejudo versus Dominic Cruz.
yeah, hell yeah.
Jesus, who thought we would have been saying Dominic Cruz is back?
And yeah, and who thought we would have been seeing the band? Like, think about it, 3 years ago, yeah, when Mighty Mouse was just the king of the flyweight division, and you know, TJ and Cody were the two guys in the bantamweight division. You know, who would have thought would, like, 3 years later we'd be seeing Henry Cejudo, of all people, versus Dominic Cruz, who's now back, versus for the fucking bantamweight. Like, Dominic Cruz hasn't fought in 3.5 years. He's actually only fought 3 times in the last 6.5 years. He has really, like, not fought a lot.
That's the thing. He chose ring rust doesn't count though.
Yeah, definitely. That's the thing with Dominic
At
Cruz.
the same time, we're looking at Henry Cejudo. He's already put himself as legendary
Yeah.
status in UFC.
Wait, in combat sports in general. I mean, he won a gold medal. Yeah, he won a...
Flyweight.
Exactly.
He managed, he did lose her Mighty Mouse, probably the best flyweight ever.
Yeah, and I think Joseph Benavidez as well. He's got 2 losses, but those...
He come back.
Yeah, exactly.
Mighty Mouse very convincingly as well. He brought it to him. Then he done that. Then to beat TJ, who was on EPO. Was it EPO?
Yeah, EPO, dude. Like, he beat a roided up TJ Dillashaw in like 30 seconds. He fucked him up. He fucked him up badly, man. Like,
and went up to the bantamweight division and beat one of the pound for pound hardest hitters there.
Yeah, like he's pretty good at this point. I mean, the fight was originally supposed to be Cejudo versus Jose Aldo. I mean, more than anything, I'd like to see Jose Aldo versus Dominic Cruz again.
That would have been sick. That would have been a good fight.
Yeah, but yeah, this is the fight we got. I think if I had to make a prediction, I could see Henry Cejudo getting a decision here. To be honest,
You see a decision. I got a feeling it's gonna kind of be like the Miles Morales, where he's gonna probably take him down. Maybe because him taking him down.
Yeah, I think. I mean, Dominic Cruz's wrestling is very good as well. I mean, he's one of them all-round great guys as well. But then so is Henry Cejudo. I think it will be a close... I think it was one of them fights that will be close. It'll be like a 48-47 or something like that, or a 49-46. And I think it will be... I think Cejudo will edge it. I think he's got more enough in him. I think ring rust, even though he says it doesn't count... I mean, Cejudo's been on cloud 9 recently. And
He's got the confidence with him.
yeah.
He's just there.
Yeah. I mean... Why hasn't Dominic Cruz fought in the last 3.5 years? Of course, he keeps getting injured, but he's also been commentating and he's been doing stuff as well. So is he even... I don't know. I think a title fight against a killer like Cejudo is just too big of a step for a first fight in 3.5 years.
What I think about Cruz, I've watched some of like his highlights when he was wrestling.
Yeah.
He's good at wrestling. They're talking about an Olympic wrestling style.
Yeah.
That's the best style you can have. And you've seen when somebody just got standard wrestling comes up to Olympic, he's not going to be able to do half of the stuff he did to the others. He's going to play.
Yeah. I think I completely agree as well, mate. I think...
Then somehow Cejudo, I've watched it, apparently it's his strike. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think... so you think Cejudo's going to win as well, yeah?
So it's either going to be by decision or it's going to be by TKO.
I think I agree with that as well, mate, yeah. It's going to be... I just hope it's a fun fight. I'm looking forward to seeing Cruz fight again. I like Dominic Cruz.
It'll be an interesting one. I think this could cement Cejudo more. That he'd be the king for king.
In the same respect, though, if Dominic Cruz wins, he could be the greatest bantamweight of all time.
Of course. Well, I think, I think he is.
Yeah.
I think there's something like 7 defenses.
Yeah.
Something like that.
7 title fights, I think it was, yeah.
That's crazy. If you're a champion, you're able to do that. You're something special. You're something very special.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's nuts. I'm looking forward to that fight.
I'm looking forward. I think that's gonna be a very good fight. It's gonna be very intriguing.
Yeah, completely, man.
Um, because Cejudo is
Yeah,
very strong, a bit like a bulldozer. He's got a crazy swing.
yeah,
Against Dominic Cruz, has got good technique, very good footwork. But we'll have to see. It'll be interesting.
yeah, definitely, man. Um,
Okay.
Next fight, the main event. Finally, we have Tony Ferguson versus Khabib. Oh wait, no, Justin Gaethje.
Habib. You wish. See why? You wish that happened.
Yeah, I know. Well, the winner will probably fight Habib. So
Of course, it has to. It has to.
yeah, well, yeah, exactly. That's the whole point of an interim championship. They have to fight the champion next. So hopefully,
So, let's start with Ferguson. Ferguson, he has been on a crazy run.
yeah, yeah.
Crazy run.
I mean,
His last loss was I was rewatching that fight against him and Michael Johnson, and
yeah,
I know it's bad to say, but I do see the point system. I think that messed it up because Ferguson was quite on it. It was a close fight, but he was on it.
yeah.
He was. It looked like he was winning the fight, and
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I think it's one of them things where it doesn't really matter too much anyway, because that was such a long
well,
time
yeah,
ago
because
that, like,
afterwards, Jesus, he learned from it,
yeah, definitely.
and it's either if it goes to decision, he makes sure like he wins it,
Yeah, for sure.
or he's gonna make you tap, or he's gonna knock you out.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I think Justin Gaethje is my favorite fighter, like, at the minute. Not of all time, but at the minute, like, my favorite fighter of all time is Michael Bisping, who's now retired. But I think apart from that, yeah, are you intoxicated?
He intoxicated.
Oh, he probably. Oh, well, I mean, I listen to his podcast and stuff like that, and I know he's like chilling with his kids and his wife at the minute. So, but to be honest, they sound like one of them families who are like they're crazy. They're probably just like drink and do crazy stuff.
They all do cocaine.
So maybe that's what GSP was actually talking about. Holy shit.
So you're in the toilet, so you're saying not to say anything.
Yeah, he did see him in the toilets as well. Maybe that's what he was doing. Holy shit.
So Justin Gaethje, last three fights, destroyed James Vick,
Yeah,
destroyed Edson Barboza,
yeah,
then destroyed Cerrone,
yeah. I mean,
all by knockout.
I
TKO Cerrone won.
yeah,
That's always Cerrone. It always happens to Cerrone.
yeah. But I really like Justin Gaethje. I think is the most exciting fighter in the UFC by a country mile. You could argue that fucking Michel Pereira guy, but he's up and down. He's not a good like he's only a good fighter. He's probably not ever gonna get near the title. Like just
Like, he's one of those where you'll remember. You're like, oh, remember when he done that crazy.
yeah. He's one of them guys. Yeah, yeah.
Like, he's always said that. He's already said that. His coaches.
Yeah, exactly. He's not trying.
Come here to lose. He's come here to put a show on.
Yeah, he's not trying to get in for the belt here. I mean,
You know what?
yeah, props to him, man. Yeah, innit? Like fucking, like Jesus Christ, like have to pay your respects. Thank you, man. Like,
Yeah, you want to give it to the fans. There you go.
yeah, sweet. Cheers, man. Like,
At the same time, do you think your boy Gaethje's gonna be able to
to
take Ferguson?
to be honest, I don't think he will. I think he's gonna lose the fight. If you ask me, yeah, on a private call, what's your prediction for the fight? I'd say Justin Gaethje because I really want to believe that he will win the fight. But when it comes down to it, truly in my heart, yeah, I think Tony Ferguson will probably beat him. If it was a 3 round fight, I could see Tony getting a decision. If it's 5 round fight, I think Tony will start to piece him up and finish him in the fourth or the fifth.
You know what? It's a bit like, you remember when Khabib McGregor was happening, and I was in love with McGregor because he had his boxing fight.
Yeah.
I really wanted him to win, but in my heart I was like, okay, listen now, Khabib's an animal.
Yeah. It's one of them sort of things.
He's just gonna take him down. We knew it was gonna happen, especially in how McGregor was bringing himself, and he looked disgusting. He was
Yeah.
disgusting. He was like, you kind of wanted him to lose as well.
I mean, I think Justin Gaethje has more of a chance against Tony Ferguson than Conor did against Habib, just because of the styles. Like I think because Tony's so reckless and because Justin's so reckless as well, it's one of them fights where Justin can definitely knock out Tony here in this fight. Like that is a possibility. If you run the fight with the way that those two fight 100 times, Justin Gaethje would win quite a fair amount of them fights. Like Justin Gaethje can definitely win that fight. But it's just a case of like, Tony Ferguson nearly got finished by Anthony Pettis.
He did, but this is what I was listening to. Ferguson has something which a lot of fighters that don't have, and they have got the survival to get hit, to get rocked.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
To snap out of it and come back and win it.
For sure, but it's never a good thing if you get hit, regardless. I think if Justin lands like one of these crazy sort of like looping uppercuts or looping overhands, and it connects, I think he can beat Tony. But I think if you played the fight out 100 times, like I was saying, Tony wins more than half of them. Tony's more likely to win this fight. Like,
so Tony's name to his full.
yeah,
And his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fights,
yeah,
Barboza, sub.
yeah.
Was that Lanata?
Oh, Lando Venata, yeah.
Yeah.
He got in some trouble in that fight, but he eventually grinded that out. He got the submission.
Dos Anjos.
Yeah.
Crazy decision win.
Yeah.
And Dos Anjos, he's got everything.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Kevin Lee, see, he got wrestled, but he managed to.
Yeah, that's one of the things because
he managed to put him into that sub.
Yeah, because I was gonna talk about Justin Gaethje's wrestling, but then if you look at how Kevin Lee tried to wrestle Tony Ferguson, Tony Ferguson didn't stand for that shit anyway. He was on his back, but he managed to pull out a triangle choke. So even if Justin Gaethje tries to wrestle him, Tony might have an answer for him on the ground as well.
Pettis, he cut him up. Yeah, he got rocked, but after he got rocked, it was like it switched on. He was like, okay, I'm just gonna rip you apart now.
Yeah.
And rip Pettis apart. Cerrone, just what can I say? He just destroyed Cerrone.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see how this fight plays out because on paper it's one of the best UFC matchups of all time. Like this is just fucking pure violence. This is insane.
Of course. This is the thing. Are we gonna get pure violence, or are we gonna get a boring fight?
Because it always plays out like that, doesn't it? It's always the fight that you don't think.
Like, the fights you really want to be like, oh my god,
Yeah.
crazy. They're gonna rip each other apart. Maybe because of their styles.
To be honest, dude, yeah, even if this whole fight card was just based off those boring fights, I'd still take it in a minute. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I actually feel like I'm like withdrawing from meth or something here. I need my MMA fights back. Like, it's actually, oh man, seriously, I'm addicted, dude. Oh, seriously. I mean, like, I have like TV shows and things like that as well, but it just doesn't really compare to like waiting and staying up watching your favorite fight card. Like when we get together and do it, it's fucking awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
So quickly, I've been hearing this a lot now.
Yeah.
Something's going on with Kamaru Usman and as in.
The fuck is
like,
Yeah.
Usman might be dropping out of the fight.
Yeah. What the fuck? Sorry, dude. Can you hear my phone? Ariel Hawani will not shut the fuck up. I've got tweet notifications on. He will not shut the fuck up. What is he retweeting? No, I know. That's why I'm looking because I'm so scared, man. What is he retweeting? He's just retweeting loads of things that people have tweeted to him. Can he shut the fuck up? Like,
oh. It's but yeah, what I'm hearing from MMA Junkie and that.
Yeah.
That Usman, for some reason, looks like he might be dropping out or something.
Well, they said that I saw.
Brought in the thing. If he does, it looks like McGregor.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I saw that Dana White said that they were looking at other things for Masvidal, and he sort of said it in an upbeat sort of way. So whatever it is has to be bigger than Usman. I said ages ago, why don't they do? I said before the Nate Diaz fight, why don't they do Jorge versus Conor? Everyone would love to see that fight because it's the two biggest sort of killers in the UFC.
I think that would be a very good fight. That'd be very, very good because McGregor, he's more technical than Diaz, and in that he can take a hit.
Yeah.
So he has power. Nate hasn't got power. Nate has pressure, but he hasn't got the power.
Yeah, that is true. I think Jorge, and as we've said many a times when we've talked about it, Jorge versus Kamaru is just a case of which style is superior. If Jorge can avoid the takedown.
Kamaru was saying he can do whatever he wants. Like he was gonna plan to take him down or like do this, that, and the other. I was like, okay, that's interesting. But this is the thing. He can pull anything out. All of a sudden, you're gonna go for that takedown, and I don't know, he'll do like 20 backflips, something, and knock you out somehow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean they're both like very good at what they do. So it's just whoever can do it to each other first, really. Like, yeah, I mean, what else is there to the fight? But yeah, I mean, hopefully we actually get those fights. There's the Wednesday card and there's the fucking Saturday card as well. I mean, yeah, we could. I mean, we might even do another one of these for that. I don't know, but either way, the fights are on the Wednesday and the Saturday, and I think it's back to like sort of weekly then. Sort of Saturday, maybe one will miss every now and
That's
then, but
brilliant. I like to see that.
yeah, to be honest, I need that at the minute, man. I mean, I think everyone's so bored. You know, one thing, yeah, this pay per view is probably going to invite a lot more plastic fans. Like, you know, the fans that only know like two or three fighters, but they'll make like a fucking fan page for them on Instagram or something like that and comment on all of their posts. You see it with all the big fighters like Conor and Habib, and all them have like these fake fans and these millions of likes. This will probably introduce that. So, I mean, what are the big fights here? You got Dominic Cruz and Henry Cejudo. I mean, they'll probably be like, I guarantee you, yeah, this is at the perfect time for Cejudo. Because you know, with his new character now, like the Triple C thing, he's going to get so many people on board because so many people who don't usually watch fights are going to be watching fights. So,
True.
yeah.
I've got a big thing, okay, which is crazy. So, Floyd Mayweather is saying that McGregor is afraid to face him again. But this is which I don't really believe. It's like, yeah, McGregor knew he lost. We knew he lost. He done well, but he
Yeah.
still lost. But it's like, McGregor's been the one who keeps on saying he likes boxing and he'll be looking to jump back into the ring.
Yeah.
And Floyd's done this a few times where he's not getting as much popularity now because obviously he's getting older.
Yeah.
It's like he's not the big name anymore. It's like he's kind of throwing it out there, trying to get attention. What do you think?
To be honest with you, I think no one wants this fight anyway. Like, I feel like they like Floyd may
I'd be
try
more
and create
interested
hype.
you know what? I'd be more interested in seeing a boxing match wise. Probably Floyd, not Floyd, Pacquiao versus McGregor. That would be interesting.
Well, if McGregor is to have another, well, I don't think McGregor should have another boxing fight. To be honest, with the sort of, you know, he's just beat Cowboy. If he goes back to boxing, I'm gonna be pissed. MMA fans are gonna be
I
pissed.
think he said more of the future. He's like more in the future.
Yeah, but then he needs to, you know, how far is that future if he wants to fight Manny Pacquiao or Floyd Mayweather?
Remember, he's very young.
Yeah,
McGregor's
but they're
he's
not.
only
Like,
41.
yeah,
He's not, but he could go and fight anyone.
yeah, but Pacquiao and Mayweather aren't young.
Pacquiao looks like he's gonna fight until he's like 70 years old.
True, but he probably shouldn't. I mean, Pacquiao is not. Even Pacquiao now isn't who he was before. I don't think. And like Pacquiao in 5 years won't be who he is now either. So if McGregor is going to fight him, he needs to do it soon. If the fight's still going to be, you know, a legitimate contest. But
I think at the moment he said in the future. That's what the thing. McGregor said in the future he would like that. Maybe he didn't say who, but he would like to
yeah,
have like another boxing. But at the moment he looks like he's solidly. He's got a new personality now. He's calmed down. He's looking just good.
yeah, but
UFC.
yeah, but to be honest with you, I mean, like we say, McGregor's got a new personality. I mean, whatever it is these fighters want to show to us, then we're gonna see that. So I mean, I'm not saying it's bullshit or whatever, but I mean, I'm just saying, you know, whatever these fighters say, we can't tell if they're right or if they truly believe that.
As in, think about it post when it was after the Khabib fight, during the Khabib fight, and all of that. Say this, that, and the other. During his Mayweather thing with the money, he
Yeah,
was getting in trouble. It was all over the news and that.
yeah,
We've gone through a very good few months now, and he's had a fight.
yeah, but
We've heard nothing from him.
he's also just a bit of a prick. Like the stuff that he's done before, you know, he punched an old guy in a pub. I mean, I don't know the background behind it, but he did that. He broke that guy's phone. There was like pregnancy allegation. I don't know if that was true or not. You know, he smashed a bus. Like,
Which I'm trying to say, media will always portray it as more than it is.
yeah, but there's not. Yeah, but the stuff that he did is on like video. So like you could see like even with no context.
It's a difference between not owning up to it, but the guy he owned up to it. That's
Yeah,
the biggest thing you can do as a human and as a man.
yeah, but I could.
Own up to it.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, I could go and kick some old lady on the street and own up to it, but it wouldn't be any better. I mean, that old lady would still be. I mean, to be fair, I don't know how strong my kick is. Fucking, but still, like, I'd like to think that my front kick would probably knock out an old lady. I'd like to think that
I don't
in a
know,
really weird way.
I
I,
remember when we used to be in primary school and I kicked you once in the ribs
Oh mate, fucking the sequel trilogy fights coming up, mate. No, the sequel fight's coming up, mate. The next UFC card, we're gonna get flown out there. Fucking Fight Island is happening.
I'd like to
Shit.
see that. Be interesting.
Yeah,
It's an interesting time at the moment.
yeah, definitely. I'm pretty much done here. I think we did a good job on our first podcast. Could potentially do another one again. Maybe for the next fight card. If not, maybe for just a random fight card. I mean, I don't really have a schedule here. Just be whenever I'm bored. But
Yeah, I know. But 100% will be. Is it Saturday?
yeah, this Saturday, yeah.